On this video, we're going to talk about the modalities that we mentioned in our first video, which are things that modify or impact symptoms that people are experiencing. There are several different modalities that we want to bring your attention to. And so we'll go ahead and dive in. Dr. Petersons, do you want to start with talking about timing?
Yeah, so timing is either time of day or timing in relation to doing something else, right? So after eating, after drinking, in the morning, with breakfast, at night, in bed, any of those kinds of modalities that you notice, like your headache is worse in the morning or your stomach ache is always worse in bed at night. And then position would be the next one.
Yeah, so position could be if something hurts more in a specific position, or if getting into a specific position gives relief for it. So an example that I always think of is relief from a headache when you lie on the painful side. So that type of thing, or if movement makes a difference. So worse on first motion, better continued motion, that kind of thing. Anything you want to add with position?
Yeah, we'll go deeper into position when we get into things like pain and the musculoskeletal system. So right. I feel like that's a nice start.
Let's just go ahead and dive into temperature then.
Yeah, so temperature ranges from weather. So if you notice that on rainy, windy, sunny, cloudy days, things are worse, thunderstorms, things like that. Or temperature in terms of heat or cold or air blowing on you, or temperature in terms of applying temperature, right? Like you want to apply something cold to make it better. You want to apply something warm to make it better. Temperature modalities tend to be very unique to certain remedies. So they provide a lot of clarification in terms of different groups of remedies that we would look at that are more sensitive to different types of weather, or hot or cold, or drafts of air, things like that.
And then finally, we're looking at things like circumstances. So this kind of goes along with some of the things that Dr. Petersons first mentioned with timing, but things like while eating, or like a specific occurrence happening that a symptom comes along with. So we can call this, potentially even concomitant, because it could be two symptoms occurring together, like during a menstrual period, could be after experiencing fright, or after a skin eruption that you weren't anticipating, something like that. We should also mention that intensity can make something relevant too. So noting if something is more intense or less intense than might be anticipated or expected. And this is particularly useful when it comes to something like pain. So if something like painlessness of a normally painful occurrence, or significant pain of something that shouldn't really be that painful. So the intensity of something can also be really useful to take a look at. All right, and that's what we have for the basic description of what modalities are. We are going to go into these more specific in each of the sections that we're going through for the body systems to give you some more concrete examples, but we wanted to give you that overview because you're always looking at this with any of the symptoms that you would be experiencing. So we'll see you on the next video about mind.